Welcome into a special post-game edition of the Barn Baseball Show. Lindsay Crosby, Sonny DeShera, Brad Law, here with you just moments after Auburn's 7-6 defeat to Coastal Carolina in a game that had almost everything, right? It had some great defensive plays, a lot of home runs, more than we expected from Coastal, less than we expected from Auburn, some great defensive plays, a giant rain delay as well. Sonny, just this is your one of your first times back for the postseason. What was the atmosphere like for you? Like, was this just how is it different from when you had a regional here?
I mean, there's probably 3 more thousand people here. I bet there was close to 10 to 11,000 here. So that's definitely encouraging for the direction Auburn baseball is going. So that is, the crowd was definitely in it tonight. That was awesome. I mean, there was still after a 2 hour rain delay. How many do you think was here? So 4 or 5,000.
Yeah,
Maybe not more, if not even
yeah.
more. Yeah,
The attendance was incredibly loud in here even after the rain delay. So if nothing else, credit to the Auburn family for sticking around, for showing up, being here for their team. Okay, so I want to start with the pitching because I feel like that was the area that Brad, you and I talked about. This was really going to be the determining factor because it was strength on strength.
Yep.
Our offense, their pitching. Sam Dutton, another shorter outing, 3 2/3 innings, 6 runs on 6 hits, only walks 1, strikes out 3. I'm I'm worried that this is a continuation of a trend of the workload, right?
Yeah.
He's pitched so many innings this year coming from a relief role. Did it kind of look like maybe there was just some lingering fatigue, or was this just a good job by Coastal's hitters of getting good swings on the ball?
I think a little bit of both. I
Yeah.
also think it was in that fourth inning when his grip started to not be as sure. He couldn't land the breaking ball where he wanted it, and as a result, had to go to the fastball a little more. Got into some predictable fastball counts.
Yep.
And
That'll do
Coastal's hitters were good enough to take advantage of that. And so, how much of that is probably a little bit of all of that. Some of it probably is coming back a day early. He had 15 days in between starts when he went out there for the regional. And then he throws over 100 pitches a week ago and comes back a day early. So, I think it's reasonable to think that might have played some part.
Yeah. And then Carson Myers comes in for him, pitches really well, 2 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts. But then the rain delay hits and he gets sat down after 29 or so pitches. Is that something, the mentality of a guy in a situation like that, is he going to ask to come back tomorrow? Or is that something you think they're probably going to wait till Sunday for him?
I mean, I'm sure if it's a big spot, Myers will be their first out. I mean, I know he wants to get out there, but hopefully, if Auburn comes out swinging tomorrow, the plan is to not have to use him.
Yeah.
And if you don't use him tomorrow, then that's a good thing because that means there's a game on Monday. On Sunday.
Yeah.
But I think he's good to come back tomorrow if they need him, but hopefully they don't.
What was interesting, guys, to me is Coastal really teed off on Auburn's right-handers. Lefties, Graves and Myers combined for 5 1/3 innings of 1 hit shutout ball.
8 strikeouts.
And no walks in that span either. So, the lefties really had a lot of success against this Coastal Carolina lineup. How does that impact what we see going forward?
Yeah.
Maybe something to watch for the game later today.
Yeah, and later today, it is, I think, 1:30 in the morning as we're doing this because we're here to bring you guys all the content that you can handle. I do think so. Griffin Graves, I would have loved to see Griffin Graves stick in for one more inning, but I do think we're in a workload situation here. 3 innings, but 50 pitches. It was a completely defensible decision to remove him because after the fact, everybody's saying pitch Graves one more, but I think the decision you made when you made it, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah, no question about that. 51 pitches is his career high.
Yeah.
And he had gone 40 or more now in 3 straight outings. So he stretched out a little bit, but you've got your closer.
Yeah.
And nobody saw happening in the 10th what happened in the 10th. I mean, you got Ryan Hetzler coming in who you believe in and who's proven, who's earned that trust over and over again.
Last weekend.
Right. And pitched 5 innings against Ole Miss to help close out that series and get a win in the regular season finale. So there's earned belief in Hetzler there, completely defensible at 50 pitches for Graves.
Yeah. What did you see from Ryan Hetzler in that 10th inning? Because 3 hits, 1 run. He does get a strikeout, but it just felt like he wasn't as crisp as usual. Is that just the guys having an off night, or do you think that was something where there was some sort of issue that Kosa was able to pick up on?
I mean, I was sitting right there behind it. The homer he gave up was just a hanging slider. Guy put a good swing on it, and then obviously No walk. I mean, the single to left field was just down the middle. I just did think he wasn't. I mean, a long day. Guys pitching 1:30 a.m. So
Yeah.
I mean, the homer was just a good swing. I didn't see anything that was just like, oh, he's just giving it up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it is. Sometimes that guy hit. They had 7 RBIs tonight on 4 home runs. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much you can do when they're having the big swing.
It's really not. And that was the story of this one. Caden Bodine, 3 for 5, 2 home runs. Blagan Pato, I hope I'm saying that right, 2 for 5, 4 RBI. The two of them single-handedly wrecked Auburn. Everybody else on the lineup combined for 5 hits, all singles. Struck out like I think 7. I think I did the math like 7 times in that same situation. Those two guys really beat you. On the Auburn side, and Sonny, I want your perspective on this. We talked about this before we turned the cameras on. I had a lot of people texting me on social media, things like that. In the 9th inning, you got runners on. You had Cooper McMurray come up, and then you had Lucas Steele. And people were asking me, why aren't you trying to like bunt them over, get them over, things like that. It ends up Cooper, I think Cooper strikes out, and then Lucas has the hard hit double play, the line drive to second, which we saw again in the 10th. That was the right. You're not going to ask those guys to bunt, right? Like that's the right way to handle that situation.
Yeah, I mean, Coop's been your guy. He's hitting home runs, and I'm sure they would much rather have Cooper have a chance of hitting a 3-run shot than moving him over and sacrificing an out for his bat. And then Lucas comes up. Let's say if Coop does bunt him, then Lucas comes up. He's lefty. Odds are they're just going to walk him too, and then you get to the next guy. So, I mean, letting both of them swing is the right play, 100%. I mean, they haven't bunted their whole career.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was about to say follow-up question as a first baseman. How often have you bunted in a game?
Yeah, 0. Not a single time. But they do practice it, but it's much. I'm sure it's much harder in the game. I mean, you don't ask those guys to bunt right there, which it was the right play.
Yeah. And I do think overall the story for Auburn's offense here is just missed opportunities, right? Like you had situations, Chris Rumber gets thrown out at second base. You have 2 men on in the 9th inning, no outs. You can't get them over, never mind bring them in. 10th inning, you get a runner on, same situation, line drive to second. Fantastic diving catch. Blake Barthel earned a gold glove tonight. Both those turns 2 double plays in the last 2 innings. It felt like, to me, from the press box, Auburn was getting really good swings. Auburn was making really good contact. If you play this game 10 times, Auburn probably wins more than half of those because the swings were really good. It's just some of them were right at Coastal defenders.
Especially against Fluky, the starter. Over his last 6 starts coming in, he was allowing 4.5 hits per start in 6 innings plus on average. He gave up 4 hits in the first inning tonight. One of those is erased on a base running mistake. Another, Auburn strands 2. They got 1, and they got 30 pitches into Fluky in the first inning. But you strand 2. You strand 6 in the first 3 innings. There are so many opportunities. If this is the Friday game in a series in April, then you go, doggone it, let's come back and get them tomorrow. It feels heavier because with another loss, that's it. Yeah, because now you're in super regionals. But this is kind of one of those games where you had your opportunities, and then you hope you cash in on them later today.
Yeah, I was about to say, later today is the real story here. Auburn plays again at 2 p.m. You can't really move the game up. You can't really move the game back because of weather. So they're going to be back at this in less than 12 hours. Kind of last question I have for you, Sonny, is that situation, having to kind of quickly flush this, hydrate, get to bed, and get back to the yard in 8 hours. Like, how hard is that as a player? Is that something where you can push through it because of the stakes, or could this legitimately impact both teams tomorrow?
I mean, this is such a high-stake game. I don't think it's going to affect anybody. Like, if it was a normal day, if
it was April, maybe.
Yeah, if it was April and you just have to show up to the park less than 12 hours and you just finish, it's different. But, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be thinking, oh, my gosh,
we're tired.
Yeah, literally. So, they know what they got to do. But, I mean, just as tired as Auburn is, so is Coastal. Coastal's just as tired. So, I mean, it'll be an interesting game tomorrow.
Brad, any final thoughts from this one before we get out of here?
No, it'll be interesting to see who pitches in the game, in game 2. Is it Cade Fisher? Is it one of the freshman right-handers? I don't know.
It feels like you want to go to a lefty.
Yeah. But
you haven't put Cade Fisher in a starting role in a month.
And you're not going to get 9 innings probably.
No.
So I think pitching strategy is really interesting. And, oh, by the way, their starter in game 2 is 11-0. On the season. So you talk about a team that really it's time to bear down. They've got the they've got the fortitude to do it, and we'll see how much we see that in game 2.
Yep. So we're back with you guys 12 hours from now. For Brad Law, for Sonny DeShera, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Barn Baseball Show.